These compact-related indicators of successful practice clue us in on where to start. The school's compact outlines the responsibilities, expectations of teachers, parents, and students. The school's compact includes responsibilities, expectations of parents drawn from the curriculum of the home. You'll notice the reference to the curriculum of the home. And you will recall from Module 1 that the curriculum of the home is the attitudes, habits, knowledge, and skills that children acquire from their family experience. These attributes directly influence school learning. Ideally, the curriculum of the home cultivates curiosity, discipline, persistence, expectation, and determination to succeed. But sometimes parents may need help in implementing a curriculum of the home. In Module 1, we explain the curriculum of the home. Now, we'll share some examples with you and listen to these principals talk about what it looks like in their school.
Well, there's three parts to it, and each, a part that states what the teacher's responsibility is, a part that states what we expect from parents in coming into this alliance, if you will, and that's really what we're trying to form, and also what the expectations are for the students. And I think the compact really is just about putting it all together and communicating that. And I think one of the ways that we try, for lack of a better term, to make it palatable for our parents is we start by communicating, this is what you can expect from us as the educators of your children. But in order for us to do that job the best that we can, we need your support at home. And so in that compact, it talks about this is what you can do at home. You know, things like giving attention to the homework guidelines and providing a place for your student to work that's the least distractive. Making sure that they do that, maintaining schedules and things like that, being committed to coming to conferences and those kinds of things. And then always too, the student part of that, it's really about communicating those expectations. And we've learned a long time ago how important it is to have clear objectives in learning. And so the student part of that compact is more just about that. Here's the expectations. This is your, sometimes we talk to students about school is your job. So here's your job description, if you will, and what we expect. And with the idea, if we all do our part, it creates the best opportunity for our students.
What we wanted to make sure that we were doing is that we were providing ways for parents to support their children's learning at school, but also didn't want them to feel like they were their teacher, that they had to teach the content. So we talked about ways to provide an environment where students could learn, be encouraging of your child's learning, ask about your child's day, those little things that we kind of take for granted that really enhance the learning that's going on at school. Trying to make that connection just through your day-to-day activities as a family. When you're talking about the community, for example, if you're studying about that in school, having that conversation as you drive around town running errands or whatever it may be, trying to connect that back to their learning and really being supportive of what it is that they're learning in school and helping them see that there's a purpose for it besides just pleasing your teacher or scoring well on a test, but there's also a purpose for that learning outside of the school walls. I would say that's the biggest area that we wanted to focus on in the compact and help parents know that what they do automatically and naturally with their kids really is a reinforcer of learning, and just trying to encourage them to continue those conversations with children and know that they're on the right track and supporting learning when they're providing those experiences and positive words of encouragement.
And now, a parent shares what she learned from her school's parent activities.
And just learning family time, like a vacation, it didn't have to be to Walt Disney or something. We could just learn more about our culture, like taking them to the Wounded Knee Massacre, for instance. But actually doing research, having them do research in school, wherever on the internet, and then just going there and just spending time with them. And so I learned a lot how to work with my children more.
Do you see why providing or supporting a curriculum of the home is important? It supplements and reinforces the work that you do in school at home, and vice versa. and it gives you language and examples of the responsibilities and expectations held for parents, teachers, and students. We've provided you with some examples of strong compacts in your workbook, and before we move to homework guidelines, we'll listen to the School Community Council describe how guidelines, practices, and activities all reinforce the curriculum of the home.
I think I had been involved with some of the parent and community activities before the survey. After the survey, what we started to do is every time we sat down to talk, we would write out the goals, and we would say it goes back to what are the academic goals of our school, so that we would always be doing an activity in the back of our mind, thinking about what is the goal that we're going to fulfill by doing that activity. Before, we would just have like a family night. It was just a family night. But now it's, if we're doing a family night, we have objectives that we're trying to achieve, whether to pass on information or give the family something at home that they can do to reinforce what's happening in the classrooms.
Which is very empowering. You know, we left having had a good time. We left having made new relationships. Parents got to know another parent they might carpool with if they were stuck. And I think classroom teachers felt like we had made a connection that we didn't have ahead of time.
And it was another thing that the math nights, I think especially, is when we adopted our new math program. It was really a new math for a lot of the families, and through the math nights, they're now pretty fluent with the program, and they understand the language and the procedures and all that kind of stuff, and they can better support their kids at home with their homework.
And now they continue sharing ways they reinforce learning at home.
Parent education is a strong component of a successful school, so that has been, now it's not me saying it anymore, it's almost like a byline for us that we are going to work with our parents to make them more successful working with their kids at home.
I think we're always looking at how can we impact what's happening at home. So one of the ideas that we came up with, and last year we were looking at the H1N1 virus, and we were talking about, well, if we miss a lot of school, how do we make sure that the kids can still be learning and maintaining what we're doing in the classroom? And so that's where we had an idea, if you want to talk.
We developed a calendar, and we actually ended up doing it for each of the next few months too. But I think it was February last year when we did the first one. And we just did it for the whole month, and we just put a small activity, whether it was a math activity, something science discovery, of course reading and stuff was in there a lot, and a lot of writing ideas that wouldn't be overwhelming for the kids, but that would actually be fun for them to do, so they could at least keep, off the videos and TVs for a little bit each day that they were out. And it kind of snowballed into just for the whole rest of the year we did calendars, and then started it again this fall too.
It created a lot of family involvement,
Yeah.
didn't I hear you say?
Yeah, and the families loved it. They really were like, it's so good to have it, because it's hard. I think it's you're a mom at home with 4 little girls running around, like one of our parents, trying to be creative, and keep everybody, busy is really challenging. But to have just an idea that you can adapt from kindergarten, first grade, all the way up to a 3rd grader was, I think, really helpful for them.
And plus it was tuned into the curriculum so that
what we
it
were
just
studying at the
helps with
time.
the vocabulary, which is one of the areas that we're always working on, vocabulary and writing and reading. So.
It was funny, in the hallway I heard, I think the same mom you might be referring to, using one of those vocabulary words as she was marching these 3 little girls down the hallway. I'm listening out the door of my classroom thinking, wow, that sounds just like school, but it was great this is going on in their home.